Hello, hello. You're listening to Rebecca Fuller and the Learn Flute Online podcast, or the Learn Flute podcast. This show is in conjunction with the Learn Flute Online lessons, where I show and tell you everything you need to know about learning to play the flute. It's Flute Lessons in Style. This is episode 47, and today we're going to answer a fun question involving a stinky flute. Stay tuned.
You can do it, and Rebecca will show you how, step by step all along the way. Introducing the Learn Flute podcast.
Well, hi there. It's good to have you here today. Let's learn something new, shall we? I was recently going through some comments and questions you awesome flute learners have given me, and I found a gem from a nice lady named Myra who says, quote, "I am so grateful that you have Learn Flute Online. I would never be where I am at this time without them, and it really is fulfilling a lifelong dream." Well, she's talking about the online lessons in the membership area. I love this so much, Myra. You are welcome, and thank you for sending this to me so that I could share with the other flute learners today. In fact, this comment reminds me of others just like her who have learning how to play the flute on their bucket list. It's a super skill, and much like learning a whole new language, it is really good for your body and brain. Well, let's move on to the question of the day, which comes from another online learner who asks me this. This is from Leah, and she says, "Hi, my flute head joint smells really weird. What should I do?" Well, what should she do? Oh dear, a stinky flute. There's nothing worse. Well, never mind. There are worse things than a stinky flute, I'm sure. But let's explore what's going on here. What makes things smell anyway? If I understand some basic science principles, then I know that bad smells, like in this situation, come from a sort of a bacteria, right? I myself have, on occasion, had a smelly head joint. I hate to admit that, and I don't like it at all. I love opening my flute case and seeing my shiny flute, and then feeling the anticipation of what the beauty will bring me this day. And then, if I move it up to my mouth and unintentionally take a whiff, I could gross out if it's not just the smell of perfectly clean metal. I hope you understand this funny subject today. If you've never had a smelly head joint, then props to you. Well, if it does ever happen to me, then I immediately fix it with this quick and easy remedies. First, I make sure that I examine my cleaning cloths. I have several because I've been playing the flute for so many years, and sometimes they get kind of scroty looking. I take them all and I put them in the sink in the bathroom with a super small sprinkle of soap or laundry soap or dish soap. It doesn't really seem to matter. Both take care of the job. And then I use hot water and swishy until I feel that I've really done well. Now, if my cloth is really the wrong color and it was supposed to be white, for example, then I'll put a teensy bit of Clorox in there with it and let it soak for a couple of minutes in the water. The next thing I do is rinse and squeeze like crazy. Laying the cloth out to air dry is the best so that it doesn't collect any lint from any other cloths. Like if you put it in the dryer, that would be bad for it. Okay, so that is step one. Now the next thing I do is I use something called denatured alcohol to take care of the inside of my flute. Now, I may have talked about this before, but a subject like this can't be talked about enough when it's needed, right? I use one of my clean cloths and thread it through the tuning rod, and I wrap it around the rod once or twice until it's going to fit nicely inside my head joint. Then I spray the cloth with denatured alcohol. I don't drench it, I just spray it until it's damp. By the way, this is the type of substance that you should not be smelling, so keep your mouth and nose closed for the spraying part of this instruction. I then rub the cloth inside my head joint over and over, respraying a couple of times until I'm positive whatever was living in there is fully dead. And then I clean that cloth so that the next time I use it, I'm not just reintroducing that bacteria into my flute. And guess what? This works every time. My head joint stops being stinky and all is well again. Now, I'm sure that the smell comes from whatever was living in my saliva, which is gross, but which is why I try to have access to brushing my teeth and drinking pure water before I play the flute each day. But obviously, sometimes it's still possible to get bacteria into my flute. It's okay, it hasn't harmed anything so far, and I've been playing the flute since, well, for about 33 years now, so I think I've figured a few things out, like this one. Thanks so much for the question, Leah. I do appreciate your honesty. It's not every day that someone dares admit that they have a smelly situation. So I'm glad that you asked so that we could have this little conversation today. Now, if you'd like to get yourself some denatured alcohol, it's found in all the stores like Walmart or Home Depot, down the aisle where the paint thinner would be. It's cheap and it lasts forever. Just don't spill it on your piano bench. Ask me how I know that one. Well, thanks again for joining us today. I hope you've already had time to come into the membership area for a lesson this week. I'm sure it'll be totally worth it. You're awesome, and I appreciate you for all your willingness and teachability. We're all going to be quite good flute players very soon. As always, leave your comments or questions here because I love to read them, get inside your head, and help you all learn to the best of your abilities. We'll see you later.
Thanks for listening today. Remember that this is where people of all ages, such as you, can come, learn, and play the musical instrument flute in an easy-to-follow, organized manner, and in the privacy and comfort of your own home, on your own schedule.